Hello everyone. This is gonna be a very difficult video for me to make. I'm gonna be very calm and composed during all of this. For me it might feel like it's all over the place, but I'm hoping that I'm kind of staying on an easy to follow basis here. But I'm here today to talk about my mom. As you know from my latest videos, I attempted to go no contact with her starting Saturday from over this weekend. That has not been very successful. She has been trying to reach out to me in various different ways, but I wanted to talk a bit about some of that today. I had mentioned how the first thing that she kind of immediately went after was my car. That's not the first time that she's done that. That's kind of always been her sort of MO. It's always been my car, my health insurance, and my phone. And over the years, as I've gained independence as an adult, I've gotten off of her phone plan, tried to get my own health insurance. That's in a kind of weird spot right now. And I've tried to get her to give me the title and the loan of my car for as long as I can remember now, I think, at this point. Obviously, I don't have documentation of every single instance of this in my life. That is completely unreasonable to expect that from a person. But I do have some instances of this. As you guys know, in 2021, in December, I had attempted to take my own life. I still have my hospital bracelet here with me. I'm trying to figure out a way to show this. I was 19. It was December 18th when I went into the hospital. I got out a little bit after Christmas, and I talked a little bit about my experience waking up. I talked about my experience with John Doe, and I talked about how, all that stuff had happened, and he left my life February 4th. Now I'm going to talk about what happened in February after John Doe left. These are texts between me and my mom. At this point now, it's been years. I don't even know what spurred this. But with my mom, it could honestly be anything. But it was, if you look here at the date, about February 16th, maybe 17th, who knows. Barely 2 months after I had woken up from a coma that almost killed me. And she's threatening to take away my car. And I finally just said, give me the loan. Or whatever it is, I was 19, I don't know any of this stuff. I've never dealt with any of this before. She said, and the bank requires it, so you can't let it lapse or be late, or the bank comes to you as a primary on the loan and lets me know a secondary. She showed me how much the car payment was. She said, but you probably need to refinance it if you're going to be mean to me. Again, I don't even remember why she thought I was being mean to her. My mom's calls pretty much anything being mean to her. Of course, because I was 19, I said, what does refinance mean? She said, I thought you were a grown-ass woman and don't need me. I said, I'll ask my friend's mom. And I did, but like she always does, she pulled out last minute and did not give me over the title or the loan. So now to this day, in 2025, in February of 2025, she still threatened to take my car. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's always been a threat. I don't know if it'll remain an empty one. We will have to see. For longtime fans of the show, not the show, for longtime fans of One Way Lane, they know this happened as well when I was pregnant. Because of, I upset her. Like I said, anything could really upset my mom, so who knows what it was that time. Here we have another instance. This is August of 2023 when I was 7 months pregnant. She wanted me to watch her 2 large breed dogs while she went on vacation, because her and her current husband would go on vacations quite a bit. But again, I was 7 months pregnant. I was with my now ex-fiance, but back then my fiance. We had 2 cats and my dog Hamilton, and we could not fit 2 large breed dogs. My dog Henry is about the size of like a small lab, and then her husband's dog at the time is like a pit bull lab mix. They're both kind of mutts, but they're large breed dogs. And I told her to put them in a kennel, and she immediately started with the guilt trip, and she said something about like canine COVID was going around. And I told her, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I am 7 months pregnant. I don't have a space in the room. I have my apartment. There's me and one other adult in here and 3 other animals. We do not have the space. And like I said, put them in a kennel. She said, so you're telling me no? I said, yes, that is what I said the first time. She said, you really want to do this shit? I said, good night, because she was texting me at night. And she blew me up with a bunch of really hateful messages and then unsent them. So I can't show them to anyone, of course. And then a thumbs up. And then the next day, acts like nothing happened. Which, this is pretty common. This is stuff I've dealt with my whole life. This is nothing new. And whenever this happens, my mom often promises to get better. Here she said, I'm sorry if I scared you or said anything stupid. I was at the end of my rope, and I promise I'll get better. But within the same breath, because I was not responding to her, she said, you just dump your own mom? Or what is this actually? What are you doing here? I know at the time, my fiance back then was a really good advocate for me and really stuck up for me and really protected me in ways I didn't know how to do for myself. My mom really knows how to push my buttons. I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder from all the stuff that she's put me through and from all the stuff I had to deal with her husbands and all of their stuff growing up. So I had some really good advocates, and she would very much try to separate me from them. If anyone was my advocate, then suddenly they needed to be gone. And here you can see that's where she started up, because my ex Daniel was starting to stick up for me. He had told her off a few times, and here she said, I'm your mom, and always have been, through tough times. I'm not sure why you suddenly just don't want your mom, and Daniel has to control everything and reply for you. He didn't necessarily have to reply for me. Sometimes I am so shaken up that it's just easier to hand it over and hand it off to someone else who's in a more stable position to talk for me. And I was very thankful to have him for that at that time. Then you flash forward to the events of Saturday, where she was trying to get a rise out of me and started filming me. And my daughter was there, and I had to get her out of my house. And I won't lie, I had so much adrenaline in my body. I was like shaking. And I'm very thankful for my new medication that I could remain calm. Because I know all the horrible things she was saying to me. I know all the things that she was trying to do is because she was trying to get a reaction so she could get it on that camera of hers. But after I got out of her house, after I got her out of my house, immediately she hits me with did you text Mimi? I'll be back Monday to get my car, referring to my car that she got me that car when I was 15, 16-ish, and ever since then it's always been something to hold over my head. But you see here she's saying, I'll be back Monday to get my car. She said she didn't feel like my daughter is safe with me. She said, you or Mimi need to call me now. I am not the problem here. I will say, when I was trying to get her out of my house, and she was saying all these awful things to me, and I had to remain calm. I didn't want anything to turn into anything violent in front of my daughter. I didn't want her to try to get any sort of video of me blowing up, because that's what she was trying to get me to do, so she could do whatever with it. But even though I was shaking with all this adrenaline in my body, I hugged her and I said, I love you, but I need you to leave my house. I love you, and I'm doing this because I love you, but I need you to leave my house. And I know that's what I told her, but I also know that I hugged her because in my mind I knew this was the last time I was ever going to hug my mom, because I cannot do this anymore. I cannot have a life of this anymore. So at this point, we've gone no contact. My mom doesn't really understand technology. I don't think she gets that I can see these things, but I noticed someone had started clipping my videos. This specific video was called Asking for Help, where at that point in time I was having a really tough time trying to find a therapist, trying to get medication, and I don't really have anyone here. My mom moved us up here because she had married someone new when I was about 6 or 7. And my mom is my only family member that lives up here, and the rest of them, besides my grandma, I haven't really talked to or seen much of since I was like 6 or 7. So I just really have my mom up here. And as you can tell from everything so far, my mom's not exactly a safe person I can go to and confide in. But I noticed she was cutting up that video and putting it into a playlist called Bullshit. And she was cutting it up and taking little clips out of context, which I'm sure was either to show my family members or to post to her Facebook or whatever, because I know a big part of my life growing up was her pushing and pushing and pushing to get a reaction out of me, and then trying to make me look crazy to the rest of my family, which caused a lot of struggle for me and made it really hard for me to trust anyone or feel like anyone would ever believe me growing up. And it's part of why I'm making this video now. I don't know if any of my family members will ever watch this or ever watch any of my stuff, but if they do, and my mom has peddled to you that I'm mentally ill and I'm crazy and this, that, and the third, like she has to my grandma, this, what I've shown you guys so far and what you'll see the rest of the video, that's what I've had to live with. That's what I had to deal with. That's what you don't have to see behind closed doors. And it wasn't just this video. It was a few of my videos. So with this one here, she clipped up like specific ones where I said I had never talked to my dad. It's like anytime I'm a little too hyperbolic in my speech, my mom acts like it's like a gotcha. Like, yeah, I've met my father. I've hung out with him. I've had a couple visits from him. I've seen him from time to time in my life. But because of everything, I do not have a firm relationship with him. I have not had a real, genuine conversation with my father. I don't know who he is. I know his first name and his last name, and I know he's my dad. But do I know anything about who he is? No, I do not. I don't know anything about his life growing up. I don't really know much about him past his favorite football team. I don't know really anything about his life. But just clipping a minute or so of me out of context, of me being really emotional and hyperbolic, still doesn't change the reality that I don't know my father. I mean, I've met him and I've had I've spent some time with him, but because of everything, I don't know who he is as a person. And then, because I have her blocked on things, she reached out on another TikTok account. and tried to send me this video about absent parents because she does not like that me and my dad are talking now. I also know from my dad that he was blowing up his phone from her 2 different phones, saying all sorts of wild stuff, and he told me, finally I just had to block her as well. He said I told her to get some mental help and stop drinking. So I just blocked the account. I've no contact is no contact. I do not want contact with you. And I had blocked her account that she was using to clip my YouTube with. I noticed after I had blocked her first YouTube account, I started to get some really nasty and bizarre comments from this new account. So let's go over this first one here on my video that she was clipping. It says, "You only have visitation of your kid? I saw your other videos asking for money for your multiple mental problems. Didn't you say you didn't have any family? Mom buys a car for you and is with you on your daughter's weekend. And please don't think you're crazy. What were you doing for Mom to say you needed to video you? Dad having a restraining order or something? Couldn't see you because lots of holes in these stories. Wow, I used to be a fan, but... And you use this to communicate with John Doe, too? Wasn't he evil, too? Didn't seem like you... Or, wasn't he evil, too? Seems like you kept trying to send him messages. Did he block you?" Already, this is weird. I have custody of my kid. There's no custody battle. I'm free to see my daughter whenever. Me and her dad just aren't together, and her dad lives an hour away. So it's an hour drive and an hour back, and we make it work. And typically weekends are my time, and the week is his time. He has a work from home job, which is really great for him, really great for us. Don't have to pay for daycare, but I have a full-time job where I have to go in and work. I work in a dental lab. Already weird, but when I really clocked that this is not a real fan, is when they said that I called John Doe evil. Any video I have put up of John Doe, I have not called him evil. Even the most recent one, where I talked about John Doe, I specifically said to everyone to give this guy empathy, that I give him empathy, that I, have forgiveness for him, that I want him to forgive himself. I think that's the best course of action. I even said, one-way lane is for everyone, including him, that I made it for me when I was a kid, and for him when he was a kid. I made it for me when I'm an adult, I made it for him when he was an adult. I have always consistently, within anywhere I've talked about one-way lane and John Doe, I have consistently given him the grace that I felt like I've needed to give. I've never called him evil, but I know who has. First giveaway of not a real fan. Second one, this account was made 1 minute ago. Kind of a dead giveaway that this account was made 1 minute ago. This was posted 1 minute ago. This was made 1 minute ago. Again, my mom doesn't really understand technology enough. Also, I think any reasonable person would think it's weird for someone to just start filming another person. I don't know. I automatically clocked this as I know it's you. I know it's you, and this is gross. I block you, and then the next day I get nasty comments like this. But this is not the only one. And my video was not asking for money. There was where I said, I don't know if I should link my PayPal. I don't really want to. I was just asking for resources. People did donate to me, so I started my art gallery. And anyone who did donate, I said, if you would like to be added to the art gallery, if there's any art you would like me to do, let me know. I would love to kind of give the favor back in that way, and that still stands. If you are someone who sent some money to me because you wanted to help me, and you liked my idea of my interactive art gallery, and you like my art style, hit me up. I still have another guy's art I finished, but I've already finished one of those. I think it was Zuckerbaby. I think that's how you say that person's username, and that speed paint is up on my channel. But anyway, first comment from our sock account here. Let's go to the next couple, which were pretty nasty and pretty gross. Starting off strong in my video asking for help, it says, "Not very good acting, but don't forget her PayPal in bio." Didn't say my PayPal was in bio in the video either. It's just been in my bio. Next we have, this is a video where I talked about my experience in a Catholic psych ward called St. Joe, and then I directly shared public Google reviews of other patients' experiences in St. Joe, including one person who said they saw a patient get slammed by guards and have the ribs broken. A lot of horrible things have happened to people in St. Joe. My time in St. Joe was not great, and here is my mom's response to that video under her sock puppet account. It says, "Psych ward didn't provide resort-style services. 1 star, LOL." This is already a lot. There's plenty more I could talk about. I have a lifetime of things I could talk about. I have plenty of points I could break down if I want to, but I know a part of it is she wants that reaction, because a lot of abuse I've dealt with growing up is reactive. They want a reaction to kind of make you look crazy, to get you emotional, to get you to explode, and then turn around and be like, "Did you see how crazy they just acted? They're crazy." But I also know some of this is to scare me, so I won't talk about it. You know, a lot of people in my life who, like my grandma, who she's convinced that I'm crazy and to not trust and not believe. She's never seen this side of my mom. So while this is my video to say, leave me alone, we are no contact, do not contact me, do not reach out to me, leave me and my daughter alone, this is also my time to show this is how I'm treated, this is what I've dealt with, this is what I've had to deal with my entire life. I'm also not going fully into this as much as I could, because I can tell and I can have space for empathy and kindness for her, because she is my mom and she is a person, that this woman is clearly not well. This is not how a normal person acts. This is not signs of someone who is healthy and sound of the mind. I'm concerned for her and my own safety, honestly, that she might be having some sort of psychotic break. I'm not sure what to do or where to go from here. But I've gone through a lot and I've dealt with a lot, so I know I'll get through it. But I'm not going to be silent about how I've been treated anymore in my life. All that does is protect the people who harm me and make it easier for them to keep harming me. I also do not appreciate how she brought up John Doe. I don't need to go into it all. John Doe knows her and how she is. Trust me, whether he likes me or not, whether we talk or not, he's not gonna side with you, Mom, just because now is your time that it's convenient for you to side with him. He knows what you're like. Like, the mask has been off for a while. People know what you're like. He's dealt with this with probably his own mom. Leave that boy alone. He's done enough for you. He saved your daughter's life. I know that he did crappy things and inappropriate things to me, but I've already put out there on this channel publicly that I forgive him. I know that I have messed up as well in ways towards him, in which I could have handled myself better, in which I could have been more understanding than I have been, where I shouldn't have blown up. But the fact that you would use him again as a pawn in your sort of weird, demented mind games here, after he's already honestly done so much for you and your family, Leave that boy alone. Leave that kid alone. I understand he's done bad to me in the past, but he's also done good. I can acknowledge people are not black and white. We're not all victims or villains. We're all a gradient. That's just a part of being human. Leave that boy alone. He's done me wrong, but he also saved my life. He's not a pawn for your games. He's a person, just like me and you. And because you're a person, that is why I'm giving you so much grace right now. And because you're my mom and I love you, even if I don't want contact with you, even though I'm putting myself first, I'm advocating for myself and I'm putting myself first, I don't know how to help you. I am not a professional. You need to seek help. You are not well. This is not behavior of someone who is well. I am already seeking help. I've started my medications. I have therapy. I got all the stuff I need. And honestly, I feel like I will be doing a lot better in my life moving forward without you in it, because I won't have the constant threat of something being held over my head or taken from me, or trusting in someone and having that trust ripped away, or having the chaos of your life come into mine and throw it all out of whack. They say when you're on a plane crash and the oxygen masks drop, they always say put your mask on first before you help anyone else. I gotta put my oxygen mask on first. I can't help you. I have spent my whole life trying to help you, trying to save you, and it destroyed me as a person. You need to help you. You need to save you right now. You need to go to a professional. Again, I'm trying to give you kindness and compassion right now because you're not just my mom, but you're also a person, but you also can't treat me this way. It's not okay. I love you, but I need you to leave my life so I can get better and I can grow as a person, and hopefully so you can get better, because I can't do this anymore. I don't really have people much in my life, but I have a lot of really nice online friends. My hair clips I'm wearing here right now are from one of them, and I have a really rich support system through that. And whenever my best friend Dahlia sent these to me, he sent a letter he wrote, and I want to read that here tonight because I want everyone to know. I know how loved he and my other friends have made me feel, but I would like to put that out there for other people as well. So I'm going to read that here tonight. And by the way, my friend, he has some very beautiful handwriting, and he did draw, let me see how do I get it up with the camera here. He did draw the English teacher for my game in the letter. I'm going to read this here. He said, "Dear Roach, or Tori, if you're comfy with me using that, I can't believe I'm sending you this package. I'm honored you trust me to send you gifts. You deserve this and so much more. It has been a pleasure getting to know you over the years. You're an incredibly kind, funny, and creative person. Thank you for giving me this gift of friendship. Hugs, from Dahlia." Dahlia was one of my very first fans of One Way Lane. I can very confidently say Dahlia is my best friend. And I'm reading this now for myself and for other people out there like me who have dealt with the situation I'm dealing with my mom right now, or are still dealing with a situation like this. I want you to know you're not alone, and it doesn't last forever, and it does get better. And I promise you, there are people out there. It took me getting out and meeting people to see the way I was being treated, and the way my family was treating me was not normal. And that's not what you do to people when you care about them. Whenever you grow up in a house on fire, you're led to believe that the whole world is like that. But the whole world isn't on fire. I promise. There are people out there who will treat you with the kindness and the love that you deserve. You just have to get out there and meet them. And for some, the hardest part might be the getting out part. But I promise you, you can do it. And if you've made it this far, if you survived this far, I promise you, you can do it. I am someone who has been through insane things. Wild things. I have been at low lows and even lower lowers, where I thought, the world was raining on me so hard that the roof would cave in, and it didn't. And when I was at my rock bottoms, where I thought, no one's coming to save you, I just got up and started saving myself, and it was hard, and it was lonely, but, I was at the bottom, and the only way to go from there was up. It does get better. It will get better. And if anyone else is going through a similar situation right now, I believe in you, and you're not alone. Thank you, everybody.